Good. This is a tutorial for your knees in yoga poses. A lot of people will have knee pain when they're in positions where when they're externally rotated like Angie is and their leg is bent in this position. So, for example, poses like one of the main ones is like a pigeon pose, right? Sometimes the front knee will really hurt from pigeon pose, which you can see Angie's in that similar position. So what I want you to do for this is actually spread your toes, especially your pinky toe, and make your inner ankle long. So you can think of, now just for contrast, we'll show with Angie, relax your foot, and then turn your foot that way. So you'll see a lot of wrinkles in the inner ankle there. What we want to do is the opposite of that. We want to lengthen the inner ankle, spread the pinky toes, and when you spread the pinky toes, you'll feel your outer shin here engage. Do you feel that, Angie? Now, when the outer shin engages, you actually feel the connective tissue in your knee engage. So you're actually stabilizing your knee. Typically, the knee is much weaker than the hip. But what you're doing by working this action is making the knee almost temporarily stronger than the hip. So if now you were to be in this position and you were to bend the knee in, then the knee wouldn't stretch. See, this connective tissue is not necessarily made to stretch in the knee, but it would stretch the hip. Good, exhale, release. Good, let's switch sides. Good. So just to repeat, and let's show them, Angie, you can turn the foot like that. This is what not to do. And then you reach through the inner foot, and you spread your pinky toes so you feel your outer shin engage. And when the outer shin engages, if you're sensitive enough, you'll feel the connective tissue in the knee engage. Good. Now keeping that, you can hold behind the knee and pull the knee in to get a stretch in the hip. Perfect. Good. 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 Exhale, release. And then if you were to do this pose, you can come all the way out, take a break. And then if you were to do this in maybe a harder position for, like I mentioned earlier, like pigeon pose, then it might even look so that the ankle is actually off the floor like this. Much more difficult. It would take much more effort. Sometimes people get confused that this methodology isn't really working because they'll go into the pose, their foot will be what we call sickle, and then they'll correct it in the pose. So what you have to do sometimes is back yourself out of the pose and then keep these actions where the pinky toes engaged, these muscles called the peroneal muscles are engaged, even as you put it in, and sometimes that'll clear the knee. So play around with this in your yoga practice and refine it, get better at it, even in the transitions into the poses, and I think you'll find it'll be a great tool in your yoga practice. Thanks so much.